the audio, whether you can hear me and see me. Let me remind you, dear friends, that you have the option of activating translation into English and Hindi. Someone wrote 12. Are you talking about the sound? 12 out of 10? So you have sound, I can see plus is good. So welcome again. We had a short break in our meetings. We haven't met in almost 2 weeks. The last time we met was last month, and then we had a closed meeting. We had a very interesting topic that we discussed last time. If you were there, you might remember that we were talking about the legal structure of the global company UST, and also we touched upon a very interesting topic related to how the company generates revenues and what kind of sources of revenue the group of companies currently has in order to generate profits in the near future and start paying remuneration. So it's for you to understand where the company's profits can come from, profits to share with us investors in the future, people who invested in the string transportation technology. Those who were there, I think you enjoyed it. Well, not think, I even sure you enjoyed it because I saw a lot of positive feedback from you. And in that relation, I would like to ask you here directly how interesting it was for you, or whether all the pieces now fit together in your head regarding the legal structure of the group of companies, the whole chain of entities. So give me some feedback, those of you who were there, just a couple of words, whether that information was useful to you or not. Let me remind you that you can use the chat in Zoom. So I urge you to take advantage, full advantage of it. Dear colleagues, do not be shy, or do only have people here who weren't present back then, back there. But I see some of the names that I remember from the last meeting. Many of you were there for sure. Olga wrote that it was quite interesting for all times. Alexander says, I wasn't there. Do we have a recording of it? Yes, you can already get used to the fact that every single meeting that happens, all the direct broadcasts are recorded and then published on our YouTube and Vimeo accounts. Therefore, you can go and check it out. If you can't access YouTube properly, then go to Vimeo, and you shouldn't have any restrictions on viewing any videos and listening to all of the meetings that we had and recorded throughout our online broadcasts. So only Olga thinks that that information was useful, or are there other people who found that information useful too? I see Eugen says that he was there and it was useful. Good, good. Someone says, great information. Satish, thank you for that. Lots of interesting, more interested and fruitful. Well, yeah, I got it. Marley gave a lightning sign. Good. So the reason I'm asking for your feedback is because for me as a speaker or as a head of the platform, it is quite important to understand that the topics, to know that the topics that we touch upon during our meetings are useful and informative and interesting for you, because the information that I cover should be used by you in your everyday work and life when you interact with your potential partners and clients. Therefore, it is very important to do this kind of analysis for your own sake. So today, here's the format that we're going to have this meeting in. We will briefly touch upon the news that was published during the break. We're talking about 3 pieces of news regarding the UST, or string transportation technology, and then the rest of the time will be given to the Q&A, where you will be able to ask your questions using your voice by activating your mic, or you can write it in the chat. This is the format that we're going to have. First news, and then I will be answering your questions, and I'm sure you do have such questions. Lilia says, every meeting is useful. That's great, really great. And I'm very good. I'm very pleased that this is the kind of feedback you have for me. Now, let's start. We have 3 news, and every piece of news was quite hefty and informative. The first thing that happened in UST, in its, how to put it, in terms of the interest expressed by international players in the transportation sector. So representatives of the transportation agency visited USky Transport. USky Transport is the entity in Sharjah, and that agency is called RTA. It's quite a big agency. It's like a Ministry of Transportation, because it is a governmental entity that regulates transportation logistics related affairs in Dubai, and overall it's quite a solid organization in the United Arab Emirates. And many of you know that the group of companies has collaborated with this organization for many years now. And to some of you, it might seem that what's so important about it? They had a lot of visits, but this meeting, it was not just your regular meeting. It was a meeting where the participants discussed. Just let me read it out for you. That the visit was not just a formal exchange of information, but a platform for discussing real prospects of implementing string transportation in urban environment. And during the visit, the RTA representatives not only saw the technology, but also evaluated its potential of usage in Dubai. So throughout the years, we know that the string transportation technology is to be incorporated into the transportation structure of Emirates, particularly Dubai. And this kind of visits, dear friends, is not just, in my opinion, a regular meeting, but I think they pursue a specific objective and show quite serious interest and intention to implement the technology in the region. So in my opinion, this is an important piece of news, quite significant, that happened at the end of the month. Another piece of news, or no less important event, or yes, piece of news, is that the UST group of companies received or prolonged the certificate of conformity from the international organization that allows it to design, test its transportation complexes, to develop design documents, to be the general contractor and customer and developer, providing engineering services for integrating management and technical supervision of construction projects, development of roof greening technology, and development of technology for the production of soil improvers and soils for organic farming. So these kinds of activities that I've just listed are regulated by certain certificates. And there is an international certification organization that is called Intertech SI Global, accredited by the international accreditation um, entities such as JAS, ANZ, ANAB, and UKAS. So without going into technicalities, it just shows us that in the international market of such services, there are certain accreditation bodies that regulate the operations of certain kind of operations. And what kind of operations? I've just read it out to you, like design, development, and engineering services, and so maintenance, testing, and so on. And remember, we did discuss that the company's main activity is engineering, designing, etc. So this kind of certificate, friends, allows the company to continue its operation for at least 3 more years and to continue performing, carrying out such kind of activities. Let me check it once again for you, whether it's 3 years or more. Yeah, it's valid for 3 years and extends to those kinds of activities that I've just mentioned. It's in continuation of the topic that we discussed during our last meeting, one of the main types of activities of the engineering company. And the company, yet again, renewed, extended its qualification to be able to do this kind of activity. And another significant event happened, which is the visit of the representatives of the leading companies in the area of construction services. We're talking about Abu Dhabi Precast LLC and the second company, Bekaert Emirates. I hope I didn't torture the name of the company. It's, again, one of the companies in the area of construction. And if we take a look at the interest expressed by these companies and their representatives, then we'll see that companies throughout the world would like to use the string technology solutions in the area of infrastructure and transport development. So the visit of the general director of the company, Abu Dhabi Precast, was not just a familiarization meeting, but an important step in building business relations and looking for innovative solutions for urban transportation. The implementation of advanced transportation technologies could become a catalyst for the development of smart cities, improving the quality of life and ensuring a sustainable future for future generations. So leaders in construction, and construction is not just like edifices and buildings, it's everything related to building and construction. It can be structural projects, transportation projects, including string transportation technology. And we're talking about here big representatives of that sector. So it can be kind of a symbiosis where innovative and innovative technologies are combined and implemented with the solutions provided by sector leaders. And there is another interesting comment here, that by uniting forces of all 3 companies, a new generation of transportation constructions can be implemented, where the innovative technologies of U-Sky Transport will be integrated with the advanced building materials from Abu Dhabi Precast and Bekaert Emirates. So this kind of collaborations will be coming up more and more often in the markets where there are prospects for the implementation of the string transportation technology. Therefore, it does give us quite a lot of hope in terms of the future of the UST technology. Therefore, friends, everything that we've just read in terms of news, recent news. By the way, Alexander said that it was Descartes that sent the invitation originally. I'm not sure how it is pronounced correctly. Yeah, Descartes, I guess. So yeah, it was them who showed the initiative, which is again another proof that the group of companies USD has taken its rightful place in this huge niche. And as we know, we're talking about a sector forming area. And now we see the interest of big players in this sector, which is adjacent to our sector. I'm talking about representatives of the construction infrastructural sectors. They show interest in us, which is a quite a substantial signal for the company. And the company has taken place and now growing roots. And again, the interest is growing towards the company itself and its products. And we can see it month by month compared to last year, for example, even several months of the last several months of the last year, like September, October, November, December, and see what kind of delegations visited. And then we see now the beginning of the year, and the delegations are still visiting, and the interest is growing. And it is very soon we will see actual collaboration with actual results with representatives of the sector. And we have a very big advantage here over other people who haven't taken advantage of the opportunity to become co-owners in that innovative technology in the transportation sector. We have an advantage because we are already, in this way or another, part of this process. Congratulations on that. I see other comments here by Marley. Let me have it translated first. And if you have something to write in the chat, please do so. So Marley wrote, plus RTA is an international organization represented, and they are respected for their well-rounded expertise. Indeed so, yes. Well, overall, the United Arab Emirates enjoy quite a lot of respect, international respect and authority in the international arena. And this particular company has quite a lot of weight in the international market. This is as far the recent news is concerned that was published over the last 2 weeks in relation to the development of the string translation technology. Indeed, the news is inspiring and substantial. And as I predicted before, this kind of news will be published on a regular basis, plus news about the implementation of actual physical projects. And they are soon to become will be taken for granted. We'll see one project implemented there, construction work started there, etc. So friends, we have still 35 minutes left for us to work during our Q&A session. You can raise your hand, and I see already one partner who raised his or her hand and ready to ask their question. But if you are too shy to use your microphone, you can ask your questions in the chat and I will see it and answer it. Just let me remind you that there are no questions out there that we aren't able to answer. So don't be shy. And while you think about your question, I will give the opportunity to our partner to turn on their mic. From the name, I can probably tell that it's a partner from India who raised their hand. Now your mic is on. It's Surav Jyoti Chudhari, if I pronounce it correctly. You can turn your mic on in Zoom and you can ask your question if you want to. If you didn't do it by mistake. Just 1 second, please. Dear colleagues, you have an opportunity. Just give me a second. I would like to explain to our audience. Just 1 second. In order for me not to repeat our partner's question, all of you can switch to your own language if you want to Russian if you're Russian speaking, and to English if you're English speaking. And just at the bottom, find the icon, the globe icon, and pick your language. Am I right in understanding that you can choose your translation language, if I'm not mistaken, right? Someone is saying, which button? Where is it? Let me show it to you. So you should have this button. So you just have to go to the bottom of your screen. Mainly, I'm addressing myself, the Russian-speaking audience, because the Hindi and English-speaking audience, they know how to use it. So the Russian-speaking audience should just go to the bottom of the screen, see the button for translation, and activate it. By the way, can you see my screen right now? So you can see Zoom's interface. Okay, so you can see my screen, but not the Zoom settings. Can you see the Zoom's interface? Because my interpreter is telling me that I can show my screen, but not Zoom's interface where the buttons are. So I cannot show it to you, but I can explain it to you where it is, dear friends. Just go to the globe button at the bottom of the screen, or if you're on a phone, go to 3 dots, choose interpretation or translation, and choose Russian, English, or Hindi. Because right now we'll have a partner asking their question in Hindi. It will be translated into English and then from English into Russian, okay? So I'm gonna turn off my screen sharing and let's see how it goes. Okay. So again, guys, Russian speaking. Good evening. Yes.
So my name is Saurav Jyoti Chaudhary, and I am from Assam, India. My question is that right now in there's in Nepal there's a newspaper, local newspaper, wherein there is a news which has been published, uh, and that there is a particular construction site, and that construction site is going to start. So. So I wanted to know that whether our mode of transport would be used in the construction site in Nepal. I just wanted to know, or rather, I just wanted to see how true that news is. Thank you.
Well, honestly, I'm not really ready to answer you this question because I don't know anything about this particular construction site and the mode of transportation there. So let me put it this way. If we're talking about the string transportation in general, regardless of the relief, landscape, and the terrain, you can use it anyways, and you can use any kind of string transportation. It can be urban, passenger, cargo, goods in bulk, containers. So any kind of terrain and landscape is good for the string transportation technology. Any kind of terrain is not an obstacle, whether it's like plus 50 degrees, minus 50 degrees. Of course, ideally, it should be some kind of a plain terrain, but Dr. Nitsky has solutions for any, I repeat, landscape and terrain. If you have an opportunity to share the article that you're talking about, please share it with the administrator when we will read that news, because I'm not entirely sure what kind of a construction site you're talking about.
So this newspaper name is Mohendra Mala, and it is available online, and it was published last Wednesday.
So the publication was on the website of the company, or it was just in your local newspaper or Nepal's local newspaper? Because honestly, I don't remember seeing any news about this particular project on the website of the company.
I Allow me to search, and then I would share this link with the moderator as well. The second thing which I wanted to ask you was the new platform Micron. So I just wanted to know when would this start? Thank you.
So we had a close meeting on Saturday. Well, not last Saturday, but the one before last. And I announced there that we were planning to launch the new platform by March the 15th. So within the next month. So we had some technicalities to address, technical issues to address, plus the synchronization of the old database with the new database. Therefore, we had we need just one more month to be able to launch it. So I hope I answered your first question. As for the second question, our partner Satish Kakade shared an article here. Is this the same article you were talking about? This article? Can you hear me? Okay, Satish says yes. Well, I can't really tell you anything about it. I'll have to read it. For some reason, I can't have it machine translated for me. But judging by the pictures, the photos here, yes, it is for sure a string transportation technology showed here. But I'm not really know what the article is about. There is even a video in here. I will have to check it out, but unfortunately, I don't have any official information about it. Let me pass it over to the management of the company, get some feedback, and then I will be able to answer your question, okay? Okay, I can see that our partner uh, doesn't have any more mic access, and I'm still talking to them. Okay, I see one more raised hand. Hello, good evening.
Uh, very good evening to you. My name is Chandrasur. So my question is, uh, we have uh, just allow me to clarify. So there are a couple of questions here. The first question is regarding the MD of a Dubai unit. He's asking if he could be present in our meetings. And the second question is, when would the shares would be listed?
So you have two questions, right? Am I correct in assuming that you asked two questions, or did you had a third question because you were talking, you were saying something?
So he asked two questions. Yes.
Okay, good, good. Regarding the first question, regarding the R&D center and the possibility to visit that center, as if I understood you correctly. So visiting the R&D center, in order to be able to visit it, we need to make like an appointment first. We have to prepare for it. So the company is open to show to the investors its facilities, but there should be some kind of a procedure followed. So if you want to visit the R&D center or have a meeting with them, then there will be a promotion launched very soon where the winners will be in a position to visit our facilities in the United Arab Emirates. So part of the promotion reward will be visiting the facilities in the Emirates. So again, it should be all planned ahead. That's the main message here. But for example, if you're going to go to the Emirates on a business trip or vacation and you would like to visit the R&D center, then please write to the support of our platform, and if they have such a possibility, an opening, you will be accepted. They will host you there as a guest on the territory of the R&D center. Of course, if there is a possibility to do it. Literally yesterday, there was a situation where our partner from Kiev was planning his trip to Dubai and wanted to visit the R&D center because he was planning to stay a couple of days there. And the date that was scheduled for the visit was on a day off. So the partner was supposed to be there um, on Saturday, and they didn't take into account it was on Saturday, so they couldn't get there on Saturday. So yeah, that's what happened. So again, if you want to be there, then you have to plan it ahead. So you're saying that this is not what you were asking. Could you please clarify what you meant? Probably something was lost in translation. Could you please ask it again?
Dohraइए. So my question is, so we are the shareholders of Skyway. So when will that be listed? And what would be the minimum price for it? So
But this was your question too, and I was answering your first question. I was coming to the question too, because you mentioned something about the R&D center in Dubai, right? And then you asked about the listing of the shares. Because I was coming to answering your second question. Just give me some time, please.
yes, indeed. And I am just wanted to ask about this personality. The name is Anatoly, and I'm sorry, I just lost him. Uh,
Okay, let me answer you the question about the listing and about going to the market, listing and going to the market. So in order for the company to go public and to convert pre-IPO shares into shares, a certain procedure needs to be observed. Okay? So for you to have a clear picture when it can happen, I suggest you first read the declaration of dividends released by the company in 2024, released by Global Transport Investments Company. That's a must-read document. And please also watch the meeting, the recording of the meeting that we dedicated to that particular topic. So there is a document released by GTI, plus we had a meeting entirely dedicated to understanding that document, that declaration of dividends. So that's the first thing we all need to read in order to have a better understanding of the situation. And the main message here is that for the company to go public, to have their shares listed in the exchange, the company needs to be able to prove, to show positive income or net profits over a certain period of years, which will be a sure sign of the capitalization of the company, because the nominal capitalization of the company is $400 billion, which is the investment evaluation. So the company needs to prove that their market evaluation is on par with the investment evaluation. And before that happens, the company needs to accumulate a portfolio of orders that would bring in money and eventual desired market capitalization, and to fully implement the potential of the technology for the total share price to cost that much, $400 billion. And our desired objective is to have the market value of one share higher than the originally scheduled. But right now we are not in a position to tell you when it will happen and at what price the shares will be listed. We need to understand the overall course, direction of the company. And right now the company is doing its best to get to that point. For now, they are accumulating orders from customers, increasing its presence in the international market, and increasing their commercial projects portfolio. And once everything scales up, then we can talk about listing and share price. For now, we don't have any exact date, and we don't know anything about the exact share price at the time of the listing, at the time of the companies going public. But we're all doing our best, platform participants, partners, and the company, to make sure that that point comes as soon as possible, and for the listed market price of a share to be at least $1. I hope I answered your question. Please give me your answer in the chat. And by the way, Suraj shared the link to the declaration that I mentioned. Andre says $400 billion is something out of our reach. Like, you know, this is not a big amount for capitalization, to be honest. Remember, I told you during our last meeting what capitalization consists of. It's not only just the total value of all the orders, but also the demand and supply in the market, in the exchange market, plus lots of pre-orders and design works and construction works, and royalties from licenses. Just take a look at the trends in the exchange market, in the crypto market. There are several certain leverages out there used by big players in the market. And once they do that, certain companies start growing in price. In several days, a company's worth can increase several times over. It's speculation, of course. It's speculative instruments, but it does happen. For example, if you take a look at the IPO market, which was very trendy before the conflict started, or even before COVID pandemic, there was a trend where a lot of companies launched their IPOs, and before going to the IPO, their market worth value was one amount, one number, and after they went public, their total worth skyrocketed just because they went public, because they got listed. If you recall, there was this company whose activity was about artificial meat. And when they went public, they didn't even have a ready-to-use product. All they had was some pre-orders. There was, let's say, pumped bubble. And yet it yielded a lot of excess or good return for early investors. But then the bubble burst when testing, when inspections started. They weren't able to support their declared capitalization and so on. It happened literally 4 or 5 years ago. If you know about it, you might confirm what I'm saying in the chat or correct me right, wrong. The message here is my reply to Andrei's words that 400 billion might be out of our reach. Not exactly. There are quite a lot of factors at play here that might and will surely allow us to reach that kind of market capitalization. Because we have one big advantage. There is a whole real viable technology to back it up. It's a whole sector in the industry. So we need to understand it, take it as here a holistic approach. So we don't have to really have orders worth $400 billion for the company to be worth $400 billion. But the more orders you have, the better, of course. Orders, pre-orders, work in progress. Construction work and so on. Because the market capitalization of a company consists not only of the material assets and works in progress, but also speculative evaluation and demand and supply. All you have to do is to assess the economical indicators, financial indicators, the market situation, and then you can all make your own prediction when listing will happen and at what price. Lilia says, when are you going to launch a promotion for investors? It's gonna be happening in the first days, weeks since the launch of the platform. There will be a very stimulating or incentivizing promotion. And once you meet the terms and conditions of that promotion, together we will be able to organize a trip to the United Arab Emirates and spend time together both on the territory of the R&D center and also have some training conducted and organize our own indoors, let's call it, event for our top partners. Packages that have already been purchased in installments, will they be canceled? No, of course not. They will be automatically moved to the new platform. All your installment plans will be there. For now, you're paying them on our current platform, and once we launch the new platform, you can continue paying for them on the new platform. Okay, friends, do we have any other questions here? Natalia Blagaro raised her hand too. So Natalia, you can turn your mic on. Bragaro, okay, thanks. So we have a case here. So my mom invested in the technology And when we transferred our shares from Mr. Khavratov to Dr. Unitsky company, all of those pre-IPO shares were moved to the new back office. And my brothers and my shares weren't transferred. Only my mom's pre-IPO shares were transferred. Back in 2021, we called the support. We did all they asked us to do. We did it all. And as I said before, my mom pre-IPO shares were moved to the new back office and ours were not. So I started writing to the support service again, and they wrote me back, this is not our concern. This is another website. If you want to do something about it, go to Swig. And then I wrote to Swig, and they just gave me a telephone number, and that's it. Not just a ticket number, sorry, and that's it. The request was accepted, and that's it. So my question is how to solve this issue and how to have those pre-IPO shares moved to the new back office and I guess have our name added to the registry for us to be able to see it on the new website. Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I could hear you. My mic was off and you couldn't hear me. Can you hear me, right? Yeah, I can. Good. Do I understand you correctly that your family were clients of Swig, Skyway Invest Group, and you made your purchases through that platform? Then your mom has had her pre-IPO shares moved and not yours. So both my brothers and mine were not. What do you mean by extract from the registry? Well, extract from the registry is actually the key document confirming that you are investor in the string transportation technology. Well, I have some papers back then when we did it, kind of like a certificate or a diploma, some with like stamps on it, where it said that I purchased 4 packages, paid for them, and how many pre-IPO shares I got from it. So here's the procedure, Natalia. Before 2020, March 2020, even February 2020, the GTI company collaborated with Skyway Invest Group. And starting from February 2020, the relationship was canceled. And all of the clients who invested into the string transportation technology through Skyway Invest Group had their names added to the registry of investors, provided they passed successfully the verification procedure. And yes, I have my verification. I have my packages in the new website. I'm saying here that we didn't quite manage to have our packages moved from Khavratov to Unitsky. My mother managed, I didn't, and my brother didn't. Yeah, let me finish my thought here, Natalia, first, please. So for you to be able to see your purchases on our website, purchases that you made through Skyway Invest Group, you need to register on the Skyway or RSW systems with the same email that you used in Swig, and synchronization will happen. So what you need to do is to use your email used in Swig to register on RSW systems, and all the purchases will be synchronized, provided that before March 2020, you completed the procedure that was called, it was pre-IPO share procedure, conversion procedure, where the pre-IPO shares related information was passed over to the parent company. So the key here is using the same email address that you used in SWIG and RSW systems. Probably your mother both used the same email and completed the conversion procedure. Yes, I understand now. But if nobody replies to me in Khavratov's company, you used to be one entity. This is our money, and I don't know what happened. And nobody is answering me. You understand what kind of a stress we're here under. So we did it once, and the pre-IPO shares never reached the new platform. We called Unitsky's company for so many times, and they told me about the same email back in 2020. Yes, I didn't use the same email, but my brother used the same email, and still his pre-IPO shares didn't reach the new destination. Okay, let me correct you here, Natalia. You said that our companies were the same, one entity. That's not entirely true. Those are different companies. We have a parent company, the owner of the intellectual property, and there was a middle company, intermediate company, a partner company, SWIG, but it was not the owner of the intellectual property. It's just like an agency company. For example, where do you live right now? Okay, you live in Romania, and I'm sure there is a car dealership for Mercedes, right? In your country where they sell cars, Mercedes cars. And let's imagine you purchased a car in Romania. Yeah, I understand that I'm taking other people's time here. But if you still have contact with those people, can you help us out with the migration of our packages to the new platform? Just give us a telephone number. Natalia, do you want to hear my answer, or do you want to like vent it out on me? So please don't interrupt me, okay? So I'm trying to answer your question. Well, please do, because you asked your question and now you would like to get an answer. If you want to talk, then talk. Just give me a telephone number on an email address that can help me with addressing this problem, because this problem has been put on pause for such like more than a month. It can be on pause for like 6 months because Swig's servers are down for have been down for several months now. You won't be able to reach to anyone there. Just allow me to answer your question, and then you'll make your own conclusions. So we didn't know that the servers were down. This is the most useful piece of information for me right now. Can you access your Swig back office, TNG back office? I can't. Do you know why you can't? Because their servers are down. The website is down. And I wanted to give you an example when you interrupted me. For example, if you buy a car, a Mercedes in the car dealership in Romania, and then that car dealership closed down, you still have a car, but the dealership is down, and you want to have that car maintained, serviced. So you go to the car dealership, its office is closed. So is it the Mercedes's manufacturing fault that the car dealership is down for any reason? Because the car dealership violated the terms of the agreement? Is the Mercedes plant responsible for the actions of the car dealership? For example, if you bought a car. So the logic here is that the parent company stopped working with Swig 5 years already, 5 years ago. And there were no problems until their website was on. People send us their credentials to our platform, and then everything was addressed if they took their extract from the registry and handed over to us. If the clients did not receive their extract from the registry on the Swig website, and then they didn't register on RSW with the same email address, then that data cannot be retrieved, cannot be displayed now, because the original shop where the purchase was made is closed down. So tell me, please, how can we make the website of the former company to start working again if we have no relation to them? I can tell you how, because we are clients, we are investors here. Although when you're writing to a support, the support is kind of should tell us about the situation. Did you write to our support or RSW support or Swig support? Because all of our employees of our support service know the procedure, and they're fully aware of the procedure that a person should go through in order to have their in order for the former Swig clients to have their purchases moved to the new platform, except for the cases that I just mentioned, if you didn't do anything in March, before March 2020. And how much am I supposed to wait for? I don't know right now, because I'm not related to that company. They might have rebranded their name, but the management is still the same. You have to go to them. So let me put it this way. Natalia, did you try to register with the same email on RSW Systems website? No. Why you didn't? Because I have another email and registered with another email. Why should I conclude a new contract? We're not talking about a contract. Just create a back office with another email, the email that you had in Swig, and that's where the synchronization can happen. And then conversion, and if you did the conversion, of course, if you haven't registered with the same email, go to our support, explain the situation that you registered with a different email address. They will change your email. And if you completed the conversion before March 2020, synchronization will happen. Okay, thank you, Maxim. I will try that. Bye-bye. Oh, goodbye to you too. Let me have one comment translated here for you. Dear colleagues, do you have any other questions? Andre wrote, that's not what this call is about. I'm not sure what you're referring to here. Sorry. So you can, if you want to, you can clarify. I see Amit Kumar raised his hand in the chat, but that's not the same. You have to raise your hand using the Zoom features. I see another partner raised the hand. Hello, yes, we can. Хорошо, добрый вечер. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Well, yes, I did mention remuneration, sources of remuneration, and the year 2025, but in order to be more precise, you just have to rewatch the meeting, the recording of the meeting back then. And I'm sure I told you guys that we cannot tell you right now the exact amount, how much will be paid, because we cannot count chicken before they hatch, right? So basically, we know like more or less the formula that this much percentage will be deducted, and then this much might be shared, and then you have to like split that amount by the number of shares you have. It all depends on a lot of factors here. So for now, it's too early to talk about profit sharing and remuneration. But if you want to have more information, just rewatch, please, the recording of our last meeting. Everything is covered there quite extensively. Okay, colleagues, if you don't have any other questions, we can call it a day, and for today, and the next meeting will be held on the 13th of February, on Thursday, and we're going to talk about the marketing plan. It will be an open door meeting for everyone, because some people attended our closed meeting, some people attended only open meetings, and they might have missed some key information about it. So we will have a meeting on the 13th of February dedicated entirely to the updated Micron Global platform. We will talk about the news in the development of the string transportation technology, and we will talk about all of the nuances related to the transition to the new platform, Micron Global. So if you weren't able to ask your question during this meeting, you can ask your question in our Telegram chat. And then if you have questions related to something I mentioned during this particular meeting, you can ask those questions again in that chat, and we will follow them. We will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for your time, dear friends. Thank you very much for spending time together with us today. I will be looking forward to seeing you at the same time next Thursday, 13th of February. It's 6 p.m. Central European time. So all the best, and see you on the 13th of February.